They say, "I'm fine," but you can see the pain in their eyes. This is how you truly support someone with anxiety. Mild, moderate, or severe, they need you now more than ever. Your friend is anxious. Your partner's shutting down. You want to help, but don't know how. Anxiety doesn't look the same for everyone. But the way we support each other, that can change everything. Here's what to say, what not to say, and how to really be there. This video will show you what actually works. Anxiety isn't always what you think it looks like. It's not always panic attacks or heavy breathing. Sometimes, it's your friend cracking jokes at dinner and crying alone in their car afterward. It's the coworker who's always upbeat, but avoids every social invite. Many people who live with anxiety have learned to mask it. They smile, they show up, they say, "I'm fine," when what they really mean is, "Please notice me," without judgment. And here's the thing, you don't have to fix them. You don't need the perfect words. What they truly need is someone who shows up. Someone who sees past the mask and stays anyway. Remember, you don't have to fix the storm. Just sit with them through it. Anxiety doesn't wear a label. It doesn't announce itself when it walks into the room. But it's always there, in different intensities and different forms. Let's break it down, because when we understand the levels, we understand how to truly help. Mild anxiety is the most common, and the most overlooked. It sounds like overthinking a text message hours after it's sent. It feels like restlessness in quiet moments, and tension that never quite leaves the shoulders. They're still going to work, still showing up, but underneath, there's a constant hum of worry they can't turn off. And most of the time, no one even notices. Moderate anxiety is harder to hide. It's the friend who cancels plans, not because they don't care, but because they're overwhelmed. It's the person who's exhausted, even after a full night's sleep. They avoid situations that used to feel normal. They struggle to concentrate. And slowly, anxiety starts rewriting their daily life, one skipped event, one sleepless night at a time. Severe anxiety doesn't just affect your mood, it hijacks your entire world. It can cause full-blown panic attacks, sudden waves of fear so intense, they feel like heart attacks. It isolates. It convinces people they're unsafe, even in their own homes. Every decision feels dangerous. Every day, a battlefield. This level of anxiety is not just stress. It's paralyzing, and it requires deep, compassionate support. Remember, the deeper the anxiety, the deeper the need for patience, presence, and understanding. No matter where your loved one is on the spectrum, they don't need perfection from you, they need presence. Because when you understand what they're facing, you become part of their healing. When anxiety is mild, it's easy to miss, or worse, to dismiss. You might think they're just being dramatic, overreacting, but what they actually need is someone who listens, without trying to solve. You don't need to come up with answers. You don't need to say the perfect thing. Sometimes, the most powerful response is this simple sentence, "That makes sense. I get it." When they're spiraling with overthinking, invite them back to the present, without pressure. Try. Want to go for a walk? No deep talk required, just fresh air and quiet support. People with mild anxiety don't need you to fix them. They need you to be the person who doesn't minimize, dismiss, or rush their process. They need a soft place to land, a calm presence in a world that often feels too loud. Please, be the peace they can't always find in themselves. Moderate anxiety doesn't always look like panic. Sometimes, it looks like last-minute cancellations, unread messages, or a friend who keeps saying, "Sorry, I just can't right now." And here's the hard truth. Their world feels overwhelming, while yours may look totally normal. When they cancel plans or go quiet, respond with grace, not guilt. Say, "It's okay. I'm here whenever you're ready." Because what they need most is to feel safe, not ashamed. Moderate anxiety makes everyday tasks feel like mountains. You can help by offering gentle support, without control. Try, "Want help making that call?" Or, "Let's make a simple plan together." Even just breaking things down into smaller steps can lift the weight. They may know they need help, but feel too frozen to reach out. Don't push, just guide. Say, "I can help you find someone when you're ready. We'll take it slow." That's how trust is built, not through pressure, but through presence. And please, never tell them to snap out of it. Anxiety isn't a light switch. It's not a choice. And your patience is more healing than you know. Remember, when someone is drowning, don't tell them to swim harder. Just reach out your hand. Severe anxiety isn't just fear, it's fear that takes over the body. It can cause full-blown panic attacks, paralyze someone with dread, or make them feel like the world is crashing in. In those moments, your calm is everything. Speak gently, slowly. Say, "You're safe. I'm here. Let's breathe together." Match their pace. Ground them, don't rush them. You don't have to stop the storm. You just have to be the anchor. People with severe anxiety often carry a silent fear that they're a burden. Remind them they're not. Say, "You're not too much. I'm glad you told me." Because when the world feels unsafe, your reassurance becomes their shelter. Support doesn't always mean deep talks. It's also meals, a ride to the doctor, running an errand when they can't leave the house. Sometimes presence speaks louder than words. And when they're ready, offer to help them find real support. A therapist, a psychiatrist, a support group. Say, "I'll help you take the first step," only when you're ready. Because healing is possible, but it starts with feeling safe. Remember, you can't walk their path for them, but you can walk beside them. And that can make all the difference. Sometimes the loudest pain is the one no one can hear. And if you've never felt anxiety yourself, it's easy to misunderstand the silence. When someone you love has anxiety, you might feel helpless, like you should be doing more. But most of the time, they don't need you to fix them. They just need you to sit with them, without judgment, without pressure. People with anxiety often live with constant fear and constant guilt about it. They know their worries sound irrational. They wish they could be easier to love. What they're really asking is, "Can you love me anyway?" Every time you show up, calmly, quietly, without needing them to be different, you're healing something inside of them. Your patience is medicine. Your consistency becomes proof that they're not too much to handle. When they cancel plans last minute, when they go quiet for a while, please don't take it personally. They still love you. They're just trying to survive their mind that day. And every time you give them grace, you make them feel less alone in it. Remember, you don't have to understand everything about anxiety. You just have to care enough to stay. You may not be able to take away their anxiety. You can't erase their thoughts, or turn off their fears. But what you can take away is their loneliness. They don't need you to have all the answers. They need to know you're not going anywhere. Your presence is more powerful than pressure ever will be. Small gestures speak loudest when someone feels small. A text that says, "Thinking about you." A quiet hug when words don't come. Saying, "You're not alone." These are more than kind moments, they're medicine for the soul. Remember, You don't have to be their solution. Just be their safe place. When anxiety is mild, it's often brushed off. But this is actually the best moment to act, because early action can prevent it from spiraling into something more serious. Start with the basics. 7 to 8 hours of quality sleep is not a luxury, it's a necessity for mental resilience. Sleep recharges the brain and calms the nervous system. Daily movement, even a 20-minute walk, can drastically lower stress hormones and release feel-good chemicals like endorphins. You don't need a gym. You just need to move. Just 10 minutes of mindfulness a day can make a powerful difference. In fact, studies show it can reduce anxiety by 38%. That's real impact, with no side effects. Journaling helps untangle the mental knots that anxiety creates. When we write our thoughts down, they stop swirling and start settling. And never underestimate your breath. Simple techniques like 4-7-8 breathing, or box breathing, can calm the body within minutes. Breathe in for 4, hold for 7, exhale for 8. It works because it tells the brain, you are safe. Mild anxiety is your body whispering that it needs care. If we listen early, we can prevent the shout later. Moderate anxiety isn't a personality flaw. It's not weakness. It's a sign that your mind has been carrying too much for too long, and it needs better tools. The good news, there are proven strategies that can help, long-term. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is one of the most effective treatments for moderate anxiety. It helps retrain anxious thought loops and replace them with grounded, realistic thinking. And acceptance and commitment therapy, abbreviated as ACT, teaches people how to live alongside anxiety without letting it run the show. In fact, studies show CBT helps 60 to 80% of people improve in the long run. That's not just hope, that's data. Structure creates safety. Start with simple routines, like waking up and going to bed at the same time. Eat regular meals. Set tech limits, especially before bed. These habits ground the body, so the mind can breathe. And don't underestimate connection. A support system, even one trusted friend, can anchor you on the days when anxiety feels like too much. You don't need everyone. You just need someone. Use the page as a mirror. Journals and guided workbooks give your thoughts a safe place to land. Sometimes, writing it out brings more peace than trying to figure it all out in your head. And for some, medication can be part of the healing equation. SSRIs help balance brain chemistry and make therapy more effective. It's not a last resort. It's just another tool when your brain needs a little backup. Remember, healing isn't about being perfect. It's about finding what works and showing up for yourself every day. Severe anxiety is not just a mental loop, it's a full-body shutdown. It can make basic tasks feel terrifying, and everyday life feel impossible. If that's where you are, this message is for you. You deserve more than coping strategies. You deserve comprehensive care, real, layered support that sees the full picture of what you're going through. Start with a psychiatric evaluation. Medications like SSRIs or SNRIs can help regulate the chemical imbalances that fuel severe anxiety. It's not weakness, it's brain science, and for many people, medication is the first step towards stability. Therapy and medication together is often the most effective path. Therapy teaches your brain how to face fears. Medication helps your body stay calm enough to learn. With exposure therapy, you slowly and safely face what scares you, until it loses its power. It's not easy, but every small win is a breakthrough. and every step forward means your anxiety loses a little more control. Create a crisis plan, a lifeline for your hardest days. Know your triggers. Define a safe space. Write down your grounding tools, like breathing exercises, cold water, textures, movement, or music. Prepare before the panic hits. You don't have to do this on your own. Support groups connect you with people who get it. Family therapy helps your loved ones understand what you're facing, so they can support, not trigger, your healing. Anxiety may scream that you're broken, but the truth is, you are not your fear. You are not weak. You are still here, and that is proof of strength. Here's something most people won't tell you about healing. It's not a straight line. It's not quick, and it's not about becoming fearless. Healing doesn't mean the fear disappears. It means you keep showing up anyway, even when it's hard, even when it's slow. If you're healing at your own pace, you are not behind. Healing isn't a race, and comparison only steals the proof of how far you've come. You are not broken. You are human, and every anxious thought, every difficult day, doesn't define your worth. It just shows your resilience. You are growing, even if no one else sees it. Even if it feels invisible, every step counts. Because courage isn't loud, sometimes, it's just breathing through the next minute. Healing doesn't ask you to be fearless. It just asks you to keep walking, with your fear beside you. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, someone's life quietly revolves around a dialysis chair. It's exhausting, it's lonely, and often invisible to the world. Millions suffer in silence, but today, you can be the reason someone feels seen. If this guide helped you understand, support, or feel less alone, please drop a like in the comments. Let's flood this space with real love and lived experience. Remember to subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet done so. And don't keep this to yourself. Share this video with a friend, a caregiver, or a family member who needs to hear it. Together, we can make invisible strength visible. Thanks for watching, and for caring. I will see you in the next one.